Do you like poems? I wonder, do you have a favourite poem? And I wonder, do you know any poems by heart? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. For today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you two of my favourite poems, which are great fun to say aloud and fun to try and memorise. They're both written by a very famous author and poet who also wrote a book which you may have heard of called Winnie the Pooh, and his name is A. Milne. Oh, before I begin, I've another question for you. Are any of you taking a journey this summer? Maybe some of you are taking a journey to see your grandparents, or to meet up with some of your cousins or aunts and uncles who live in another state or perhaps in another country, or even for some of you in another continent. Well, Journey with Story is also taking its own journey this summer, a very special journey. I wonder, can any of you guess where we are going to take a journey to? Here's a clue. Yes, we are taking a journey back to my native country, Scotland. In fact, we are moving back to live in Scotland. Our two dogs, Fiona and Rowan, are very excited, aren't you? If you want to see some photos of my dogs, Rowan and Fiona, you can take a look at our website at www.journeywithstory.com. So, all of this is to say, since we are going to be making such a big move over the summer months, it's going to take up a lot of our time, and so we are going to be airing some more of our encore episodes over the next few months. But we will also be offering you a special summertime playlist too, so be sure to look out for that coming soon. In the meantime, let's take a journey with The 3 Foxes and the 4 Friends by A. Milne. The 3 Foxes. Once upon a time there were 3 little foxes who didn't wear stockings and they didn't wear sockses. But they all had their handkerchiefs to blow their noses, and they kept their handkerchiefs in cardboard boxes. And they lived in a forest in 3 little houses, and they didn't wear coats and they didn't wear trousers. They ran through the woods on their little bare tootsies, and they played touch last with a family of mouses. They didn't go shopping in the high street shopses, but caught what they wanted in the woods and copses. They all went fishing and they caught 3 wormses. They went out hunting and they caught 3 wopses. They went to a fair and they all won prizes, 3 plum puddingses and 3 mince pieses. They rode on elephants and swang on swingses, and hit 3 coconuts at coconut shies. That's all I know of 3 little foxes who kept their handkerchiefs in 3 little boxes. They lived in the forest in 3 little houses, but they didn't wear coats and they didn't wear trousers, and they didn't wear stockings and they didn't wear sockses. The 4 Friends. Ernest was an elephant, a great big fellow. Leonard was a lion with a 6-foot tail. George was a goat and his beard was yellow. And James was a very small snail. Leonard had a stall and a great big strong one. Ernest had a manger and its walls were thick. George found a pen, but I think it was the wrong one. And James sat down on a brick. Ernest started trumpeting and cracked his manger. Leonard started roaring and shivered his stall. James gave a huffle of a snail in danger. and nobody heard him at all. Ernest started trumpeting and raised such a rumpus. Leonard started roaring and trying to kick. James went on a journey with the goat's new compass, and he reached the end of his brick. Ernest was an elephant and very well intentioned. Leonard was a lion with a brave new tail. George was a goat, as I think I have mentioned, but James was only a snail. Well, which of those poems was your favourite and why? What about your mum or dad? Why don't you find out which poem they liked best? And maybe you could try learning one of these poems together. It's great fun to be able to recite a poem you know by heart. So remember, mums and dads, if you become a Patreon subscriber at www.journeywithstory.com, you can enjoy some fun weekly colouring sheets with your little listeners. And if you haven't already done so, can you please take a moment to rate, review and share this podcast with others? And don't forget to subscribe, that way you don't miss any of our updates. Cheerio then, join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.